Emotional algebra, where the heart meets the math. What is integral is derivative as you figure out your path. Power plus emotions equals more than you can see. Listening to the wisdom.
All right, hey viewers, I'm doing a personal interview with Luckner today. If you may remember, last week I believe I had posted an update on his situation, and he has been able to find a Wi-Fi signal so that we can actually do a video call from where he's at. I told him I don't want to mention where he's at just for his safety, and let him to report to where he came from and the city he came from and what's been going on. So, so Luckner, tell me a little bit about, you'd let me know that you had to flee in the middle of the night and you took very little with you. What was going on in the city, and from Port-au-Prince to where you fled to, what's happening in the country right now, and what are continued concerns?
Okay. As you know about the situations of Haiti, a lot of people see it in the news. You can have an idea of what is happening here in Haiti. But there are something that happening mostly in the city. I mean, Port-au-Prince, and then peoples that are living in the countrysides and cities are far away. They don't really used to those situations. They just see it in the news,
Mm-hmm.
and then as the gangsters, they get from time to time more powerful, and then they have strong supports. I don't know exactly who's supporting them, but they have strong supports, financial supports, and then they have good contacts. They get more powerful, and then they start to attacking other cities. They start to invade other cities, and then one of the things they want ways for them to get the goods. They want
Mm-hmm.
ways like a city they can pass their munitions, their guns. And then Mibale was one of the cities that stand against that. They don't want that. And then as Mibale is close, is in the center of Haiti, and then most of the goods of the gangsters, the terrorists, come from Dominican Republics, and they have to pass through Mibale. And then most of the people are good citizens, they oppose with that. And then some police officers that are good citizens, they oppose with that. And then at a certain times, sometimes they even arrest the drivers that are driving for the gangsters. They have a lot of money, and then they arrest people who is making that traffics. And sometimes they even kill them because what they are doing is not good. And then at a certain times they come to the to YouTube. They have YouTube platform. They flood the city. They say they will invade the city. They say nobody can stand against them. And
Mm-hmm.
then, in fact, they finally organize all that they have, and then they invade the city on a night that on March 31st. They invade the city at night, and then we hears a lot of gunshot. And then as we are using to see and the news and YouTube what those people are doing when they get in the city, more than 20,000 people fled the city. They left the city. They left the city, leave the house with their goods, their business. They left the city. And then I'm one of these people, one of this who fled, who left the city. When they came at night, a lot of gunshot. They start advancing on the city, and then the police could stand against them. And then some of authorities, they have to flee also with us. And then they break the prisons. They free a lot of bad people, prisoners. They flee them. They free them. They give them arms. They give them munitions to do what they are doing. When they get in the city, they burn businesses. They rob businesses. They kill people.
Mm-hmm.
And thanks goodness, I have the time to flee. And then, as I've told you before, I didn't bring anything with me, only my laptops, my cell phone. And then this is how I left the city. So far, nobody can tell you this is when we will the authorities will have control of the city. This is when people will be able to get back home. Many people flee from the city. Me, I'm one of them, and we try to be safe. This is the most important thing. We don't care about
Mhm.
what we left. The most important thing is that we survive. We are not victim of these people because they are really cool people. They
Mhm.
don't they don't think about their actions. They kill as a pleasure. And then if you have the chance to see the videos, you would see the terror of these people. You would see how they are happy to kill, how they are happy to burn houses, to burn businesses, to rob everything from the business, go to the ghetto with them. They have places they stay, we call them ghetto. They take all the goods they want, they went to their ghetto with that. And then nobody couldn't stand them. They totally destroy the city. You would see it's like when you're seeing in a movie in a place where the zombie is living. It's just like this when I'm watching the city now. This is how
Mhm.
it is now.
So I understand from what you were saying, but when we talked before that you were only able to leave with your cell phone, your computer, and your important papers that you needed with you. Left your
Yes.
clothes behind, left your other technology behind that you were trying to build a business with, and
Yeah,
just had to get out of there.
exactly.
Do you know what happened to your place where you were living? Is that you have any idea what happened to it?
Actually, I had one of the person that I'm using to talk to him, and then he was not leaving the city. He was staying in a nearby place, trying to see what is happening, if they will have a chance for the authorities to take control of the city. At
Hmm.
last, just recently, I have his news. We are using to talk, and then recently he said that everything was fine with my house. They didn't take anything, but
Hmm.
just yesterday I had his news is that the gangsters, they took him. Thank goodness they didn't kill him, but they
Hmm.
take his cell phone, they beat him, and then mistreat him. And then I say, if they get to that place, certainly they got to my house. I have nobody who can inform me what happened to my house. But
Hmm.
I don't really know what happened to my house. I don't know if
Hmm.
it's still there, if my solar panel, my batteries, my inverter, all those stuff. This is thing that I'm using daily to make my my activities. But for the
Hmm.
moment, I don't know what's going with them.
Hmm.
I don't know
Hmm.
anything.
So is most people's way of life or living just totally disrupted? I mean, people can't probably there's not jobs to hold on to. How are people making income or paying for food or water or where they're staying? How's all that happening there?
Okay, where I am now.
Hmm. Yeah.
First, when people came first to the city, I remember one for a week. The mayor of the city, they provide them food. They stayed. A lot of people stay at a park. Some stay at schools, old schools. They still have
Hmm.
the establishment, but they no longer work. Some stay at this place. I have a friend of mine who is living at one of this place. A lot of people came. Sometimes they organize themselves to find something to eat. Some people who have friends, family abroad, they send them support. But no authorities are really taking care of the people. They don't really take care of them. No
Hmm.
plans, nothing to help them. They
Hmm.
just stay at the mercy of God.
So how are they getting food, water? How are you taking care of the hygiene issues? What's happening? Is it continuing to progress to be more of a problem, or what do you see?
It's a problem. Let me explain you. I can explain you my situation. I can't really explain you everyone's situation.
Hmm.
But what I know now is that people trying to familiarize themselves. For example, if you have an house in a city where I'm coming from, even though in your house you could hold four people, you have some friends that come to you say, "Oh my God, you know what is happening, my brother, this is how the situation is, can you please give me a place to stay, me and my families and my friend, you can." They even ask for their friends because thing is really complicated. And then you can see a house 4 people could stay is holding like 8 9 people. Especially this is my
Hmm.
situation because I'm living at a niece, at one of my niece, and then there were a lot of people in the room. I just only have a bed. There is
Hmm.
no place, no. This is the way I am, and then people try to put together what they have together to eat. They have to contribute together to do everything. This is the way I see it for myself, and then for a few friends I know.
Hmm.
But there is
Hmm.
nobody who's supporting them in that situation, really.
Wow. What do you feel is happening with the people who are living in the parks and out in, I mean, sounds like they're just out in the open. What's happening with them in terms of their attitudes, their sense of hope, their are they making the most of the situation? What do you see happening there?
I can say they are hopeless. They are hopeless. All they can do, sometimes we have to try to survive. And then some people try to understand each other. For example, if I have this, you're needing it, we try to share it. But there is no
Mhm,
hope. Nobody is having hope in that situation. The thing that
mhm,
could give us hope is that we know after a month, after 2 months, we will be able to get back home. But this is not it. This is not the case.
mhm,
This is not
mhm,
the case. Nobody, no authorities say that we are going to confront those terrorists to get them back to the place they were. Nobody's telling us that.
mhm, mhm,
Remember how would you feel to know that you are in a place, you leave everything behind, and then you don't know what happened to that thing, and then you are seeing what is happening to business, to houses. They steal people's stuff, they burn them, they waste them. You won't
mhm.
feel good. You will feel hopeless.
And I think one thing you and I had been talking about before is that it doesn't matter, what your income is. It doesn't matter where you lived. Everybody is basically having to run for their lives. And even those who
Yes.
did have money, you said that they were often taking over those homes and living in them while
Yes.
they're destroying them and leaving just destruction.
There is a famous Haitian player, soccer player. He was in the Haitian selection. He is from Mibale. He even posts on his Facebook how he's scared for his life. He was obliged to run, and then he's living in the park with nothing. A superstar.
Mhm,
Yes, his name is Jeffrey. He's one of superstar, Haitian superstar, who played in the
mhm,
selection, soccer selection. And then you
mhm.
know what? He is hopeless. He says that. Imagine
Yeah.
one of the superstars getting at the situation. Imagine other people. What will they do? They are the same
Mhm,
situation, even worse. He
mhm,
said that I'm fleeing for my life. I left everything behind. Now I'm hopeless without nothing. Nothing. I
mhm.
just scared for my life.
So you mentioned that you felt like the gangs were getting their guns from the United States and also
Yeah.
coming through Dominican Republic. How do you know that information?
I know that because it's in the news, and then it's
Uh-huh.
in the reports. There are instances that making research that in the United States, that in the Dominican Republic, that in Haiti, they have this information. They know the ways it's come from United States. Most of the guns, munitions come from United States. People knows that. They like
Mhm,
we call that, I don't know the real term in English. We call it contraband or
mhm,
I don't know the real term. In French, it's contraband. I don't know the
mhm.
real term
Yeah,
in
that's the same
English.
in English.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, they get all those stuff through illegal goods. They pretend it
Mhm.
is that sort of goods that it is on the news. It is
Mhm.
in the they say that they say it
Mhm.
is that, for example, some people who who team up with them from the US send guns, munitions to them, pretending they send something else, and then those things go through Dominican Republic and then get to Haiti.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
and then when they get to Haiti, they have to go from the borders and then pass through the center of Haiti. Mibala is the
Mhm.
center,
Mhm.
and then reach
Okay.
to the gangsters in Port-au-Prince, the
Mhm.
terrorists. This is where they the destination is. And when they got there, and then they use it to terrorize the population. I don't know what people will do. People who's in charge, what they will do to stop that. But this
Mhm.
is true.
Mhm. I know you also talked about that you've had friends and people who are from Haiti who aren't in Haiti now who don't believe the reports. And you're kind of shocked at people can't believe that these things are happening.
Yes, yes. Well, I was surprised. I was talking to a friend of mine who is in Germany, uh, and then she's Asian. And then I'm explaining to her what the situation is when she said that I know that they're attacking the city and then you're not. How is things for you? I explained to her the situation. She said, "What? I knew that the situation is bad, but I didn't know it is that worse." I say,
Mhm.
"Yes, this is it." When I'm explaining the situation totally to her about what the gangsters, I don't call them gangsters. I call them terrorists. As you can see,
Mhm.
as you can hear in the news that the U.S. government, you can hear that in the news. They were they categorized them as terrorists. This is it. This is what they are really.
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
I'm explaining to them, or they took people, burned them alive, burned
Mhm.
houses, burned businesses, and then they don't care for people's life. They don't care for anything, and then they
Mhm.
just invade other cities, take a hostage, and
Mhm.
then claim that city is their territory. That's why we call them most of the territory in Haiti, where there is those terrorists are taking. They call lost territory, like territoire perdu in French.
It almost
This is
seems
what
like a
they.
war zone. They're
Yeah,
just
it's like a
taking
war
it.
zone. Imagine that
Yeah.
you are in your own country, your country is not attacking by other country, and then you flee. You are a refugee. I'm a
Mhm.
refugee now. And then
Mhm.
we have more than 20,000 people that came from Mibale that are living like a refugee now.
Mhm.
We have them
Mhm.
that live in the parks and Ish and place we call Bilader near the borders. They live
Mhm.
like refugees. We
Mhm.
live like refugees. They stay in old school. That means school that are no longer establishment that are no longer working at school. They stay there.
Mhm.
And then the worst part is that nobody's visiting them. Nobody's say, "What are you eating?" They sleeps on the floor. This is it.
Mhm. Well, and you're getting to that really hot part of the summer too. I mean, probably the temperatures are already, in the high 80s or 90s, and the humidity. I'm just wondering, what are your concerns about what may happen with the health situations with all these 20,000 plus people who have nowhere to go and nowhere to really stay when you got rains coming? I mean, what are your
Mosquitoes.
concerns? Hmm?
Mosquitoes. A lot of mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes, yeah,
Yeah, I can show
and
you my.
they carry disease a lot of times. I
Yeah,
mean,
I can
do
show
you
you my
have?
skin now. A lot of
Oh,
mosquitoes
really? Yeah,
that
yeah.
bite
Moustique, aren't
you.
they? Aren't Are they moustique? Is that the?
Exactly, moustique.
Yeah,
A lot of
yeah, yeah.
mosquitoes, and then you don't have good water too, and then those things will bring a lot of sickness.
Yeah. So do you feel fearful still for where you're at now, like that the gangs could move into that area?
Oh yeah, most of the time people here they're scared. They try to flee.
Mhm.
Sometimes they try to go further. They try to go to the mountains. Even
Mm-hmm.
someone say, "Oh, they are coming," they flee.
Mm-hmm.
This is it.
Mm-hmm.
They like scared people. They name only scared people.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
name of this terrorist bands, they scared people. They name only scared people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're
Wow.
not kidding.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
not kidding.
So do you know where you would go from here if like, do you feel like you're having fewer and fewer places you can flee to?
Personally, I'm someone who is not fearing. Like, I don't fear. I just say God is in control. I'm trying to be careful, but I don't fear. If that happened for me to, God is in control. I always say that God is in control. If that happened, they come. I can flee to another town. I will, but I'm not scared. If that
Mhm.
happened for me to die, I'm ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm ready.
That's a pretty brave viewpoint and one of great faith, It's kind of like,
Yes.
life.
The only thing that I won't do, that I won't never do, is that sometimes they do something we call brigade. Civil population. They just arm them. They put guns, munitions, and tell them if those people are coming to fight against them with no instruction, no training for that. At a
Mhm.
certain time, these people we call them brigade. I don't know the real term in English. We call them brigade.
Brigade.
Uh,
It's in
yeah,
English. It's a brigade. Yeah.
brigade.
Hmm.
But at a certain time, those people they become gangsters. I won't do
Hmm.
that. Even they just say, "Here is a gun. Get ready to defend your territory." At a certain time, those people they otherwise if they don't become gangs, but people look them bad.
Hmm.
People
Hmm.
look them bad because of
Yeah.
this act. I won't do that. If there
Yeah.
was something legal like police, like army, at this time I can say I want to help my country this way. But
Hmm.
something just random, I won't take part in any of this stuff thing.
Hmm. What are your concerns for the next generation of kids who are living through this right now and they're with their families fleeing? And what are your concerns about how they emotionally feel, what they grow up to believe, and how they see the world around them?
Okay, the kids now, I can say that they're getting in a certain time they were experimenting things that they shouldn't experimenting even they were adults,
Hmm.
because this thing is even emotionally abusive and then physically abusive for even an adult. How can a kid support that? There was
Hmm.
no hope for the moment. There was no school in Mibale, and then the thing that happened in Mibale paralyzed the activities. Even here,
Hmm.
we spend almost 1 month and a half without doing anything. No school, no university is working because of this situation.
Hmm.
You get that?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
of this situation,
So
they were afraid.
how important do you think education is across the country to keep things from happening again? And how many years do you think it'll take to remediate the loss of education or the problems or struggles that your country's had for generations?
Okay, education, as we all know, it's the main tool that can train a generation to a better future.
Mhm.
Education. But when those things is happening, educations, people, the most important thing for people is their life. There is no school, nothing is working. For example, let me tell you, while I was in Mibale, I start a kind of agricultural training that could take like 2 years. Like you will
Mhm.
become like an agricultural professional that
Mhm.
can do business with that thing. That would help me in the future. I don't know, if in everywhere that I go, that would help me. But I'm obliged to stop, and the school stopped. Everything is stopped at this moment. Life is what is better.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
if you are afraid for your life, how will your spirit, your mind, be able to learn? be able to understand, to analyze clearly. If
Mhm.
you're only scared for your life,
Mhm.
in every news, every protest you see the people is doing now, they don't talk about they're hungry. They don't talk about they need water. They don't talk about they need education. They just say they need security because this is it. If you're scared for your life, you can do anything.
Mhm. Yeah.
Let me tell you, brother, every day is living in Haiti, especially in this moment, you are in danger. I can be more in danger than that.
Yeah.
Every day
Yeah.
I'm in danger.
Yeah.
As I've told you before, we just have to pray. God is in control, and then do what we have to do.
Mhm.
Nothing more we can do.
Yeah.
Some
Well.
people who has families who have some support, they left the country. They go to Brazil, Chile, other places. Some go to Canada, USA. But
Mhm.
sometimes this is what you see. This is what is better for you to do, but it's hard for you to do. It's not
Mhm.
that easy.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk today, and especially for finding a place where we could have a video call. I know you were trying to look for a place where we could really have a good discussion, and I appreciate that, and also the people who were able to let you use the signal. That was
Okay.
too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, my
So,
brother. It was a pleasure.
yeah, I always
And
appreciate your courage and the way that you live your life, and always good to hear when I hear that you're safe. That's always good for me to hear as well.
okay, thank you, brother.
So, viewers, I think you get a view of what's going on from somebody to me who's pretty brave. And again, you can see how he lives in the moment. He's learned to adapt in the moment. And again, I feel so blessed to know somebody such as Luckner. And there's so many people in Haiti who are like that, and are trying to make a better life, trying to live a better life, and trying to change their country for the better. So again, this is something to be aware. This is happening very close to the United States, and also it's happening in other places around the world where people have safety issues, food insecurity issues, water insecurity issues that they don't know who's going to trust, or don't feel like they have anybody who's really there to support them in terms of a government or strong community advocates. This is something I really hope that as a communities around the world, communities even within us, that we can reach out and understand that education is important, that each finding our power within ourselves, and then sharing that power with others collectively, that together we can make a difference. And what a lot of groups like this want is they want people to feel afraid. They want them to feel alone, whether it's a gang of people who are lawless in Haiti, or even other factors around the world. They want people to feel afraid, alone, isolated, and threatened, so that they'll just fall into that learned helplessness place. This isn't about fighting against and having power over. It's about finding power with. And that's what I want to help people to see through this. So until next time, again, I appreciate you listening.